Well, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor. The sun is trying to make its way out on this Tuesday. Meteorologist Tracy Bean joins us. Tracy, the clouds are kind of making it a little bit difficult. What can we expect on this Tuesday?
Well, we are starting to see a little bit of sunshine. The atmosphere is starting to heat up a little bit. We started out this morning with a few little light showers overnight associated with that frontal boundary that's changed our temperatures just a little bit. But in central Arkansas, we are at 80 degrees. You can see in the northern portion of the state, they're a little cooler than us, 70 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 74 in Fayetteville, and a little warmer to our south. We're going to continue to see the sun for just a little bit longer, and even this evening will be nice, looking for a high today in the mid-80s, but those clouds will start to return as we're heading into the late night and overnight hours. But we are looking around the state, 70s in the north, mid-80s in the center, and you'll see we're almost 90 in the southern portion of the state. But again, the good news is we're all starting to see those 70-degree temperatures. Big changes coming our way, but we're going to have to deal with a little bit of rainfall over the next few days and a little uncertainty as we're heading into late week and the weekend. But stay with me, we'll talk all about all of that in the forecast and see if we can get some fall weather in the state.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Well, new at noon, the man in black who's been everywhere has a new home at the U.S. Capitol. The statue of Johnny Cash, made right here in Arkansas, made its debut in the Emancipation Hall this morning. The sculpture is one of two replacing older statues of Arkansans. The other is civil rights leader Daisy Bates. Officials unveiled that one back in May. Governor Sarah Sanders and a number of national leaders were on hand to celebrate the unveiling. We're going to have more from today's event at 5 and 6. Well, now to an update in a story we've been following from almost a year. The Hot Spring County Sheriff, facing felony charges, has hired two of the most prominent defense attorneys in Arkansas. Sheriff Derek Finkbeiner is now being represented by Bill James and Jeffrey Rosenwig. He's accused of interfering in federal investigations and forcing an informant to do drugs and have sex. Agents arrested him last November. Since then, James and Rosenwig have been filing legal motions indicating Finkbeiner was just doing his job fighting alleged corruption in the county. Much of both the state and federal cases has been sealed. Now, as for the case, last week the federal judge granted defense requests to see documents of an investigation that led to the resignation of Hot Spring County Circuit Judge Chris Williams earlier this year. Those documents are expected to be turned over by next week. A trial in the federal case is set for December 2nd. The state case is scheduled for December 19th. Well, we're also learning new details in a traffic stop that ended with a state trooper pulling her weapon out on a man. Angel Zapit Alvarado pled guilty to driving while intoxicated and reckless driving yesterday, months after leading state police on a high-speed chase through Rogers. In dashcam video released last week, state police showed the moments Trooper Alexandria Duncan caught up to Alvarado, forced him out of the car, used her taser, and eventually fired her weapon. The judge sentenced him to time served for the lesser charges, but the 27-year-old from Guatemala is in jail. His lawyer is now shifting focus to a new legal fight.
He's got an immigration hold right now. I represent him on that. If immigration is willing to give him bond here, then he could be released here. If not, we'll see an immigration judge who can decide to issue a bond for him, and then hopefully he'll be able to pay that and be released while his residency case is being processed.
The Benton County prosecutor chose not to bring charges against the trooper in the case. THV11 is your election central, and right now, high school seniors in the Pulaski County Special School District are getting an opportunity to register to vote. Government and school officials are holding registration drives over the next 3 days. Today, they're at Joe T. Robinson High. We'll have more from that event at 5 and 6. Tomorrow, they'll have one at Sylvan Hills, and Thursday, they'll finish up at Mills High. Now, if you're still not registered to vote, there's still time to get that done. The deadline is October 7th. We've got everything you need to know about the process and how to do it on THV11.com. You can just text the word VOTE, that is VOTE, to 501-376-1111, and we'll send that link straight to your phone. With Election Day now just 6 weeks away, the candidates are hitting the trail hard as the race tightens up. Republican nominee Donald Trump campaigned in Pennsylvania yesterday, while Democratic nominee Kamala Harris will return there tomorrow. CBS News Battleground Tracker shows they are tied in that key state. Caitlin Huey shows us what both sides are doing in hopes of winning the battleground state.
Thank you very much, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Thank you.
Rallying support in the Keystone State, former President Donald Trump focused on his campaign's two key issues: the economy.
I will get Pennsylvania energy workers pumping, fracking, drilling, and producing like never before.
And immigration, again bringing up Springfield, Ohio, where many Haitian immigrants live legally.
The fact is, and I'll say it now, you have to get them the hell out. You have to get them out. I'm sorry.
This as new CBS News polling shows a vast majority of Trump supporters say immigrants are making American society worse. Vice President Kamala Harris is considering a visit to the southern border later this week when she campaigns in Arizona. Both campaigns are on a battleground state blitz this week, with Harris returning here to Pennsylvania tomorrow and Nevada this weekend. Trump will stop through Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. All as CBS News polling shows Harris narrowing the gap with Trump on the economy. Yet the gender gap remains wide, and in an apparent attempt to appeal to women voters, Trump tried to argue abortion is no longer an issue.
Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free.
Instead, Trump argues that this issue is back to the states, but polling and recent election data show that abortion is a motivating factor for many voters. Next weekend, the former president will return to western Pennsylvania for a rally in Butler, which was the site of the first assassination attempt. Caitlin Huey-Burns, CBS News, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden spent the morning at the United Nations, where he addressed the General Assembly for his final time as Commander-in-Chief. The speech comes as the U.S. prepares to send a small number of additional troops to the Middle East, where tensions between Israel and Hezbollah forces continue to escalate. Lebanese officials say more than 500 people were killed in the Monday airstrikes carried out by Israel. Hezbollah has escalated strikes on Israel's north since the October 7th Hamas attacks that triggered the war in Gaza. But in his address, President Biden said he hasn't given up on reaching a diplomatic solution.
Now is the time for the parties to finalize its terms, bring the hostages home, and secure security for Israel and Gaza free of Hamas' grip, ease the suffering in Gaza, and end this war.
President Biden is expected to have one-on-one meetings with several world leaders, but right now, a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not on the schedule. Well, did you know that close to 300,000 new cases of prostate cancer are expected to be diagnosed this year? That's why there's a new campaign encouraging men to get checked out. We'll explain what it is at 12:15. Tracy?
Well, after a cloudy morning, we're starting to see a little blue sky and some sunshine. Stay with me, and after the break, we're going to talk about just how long this sunshine is going to stick around.